for my lovely, lovely community, those of you who have a body and mind that is your sanctuary, and you have a community like the IHP community that is also a sanctuary to speak of the beauty of being a human being and a mystic. So mysticism is the word that we use for those aspects of clairs and more that my lovely neuroscience community and physicist community, I still am learning from those educators, can explain. In the meantime, what I have been able to gather is actually from our psychoeducators and from one person in particular. This is Daniel Siegel, about how the optimized brain of every human being is when there's integration of the brain. So left and right mode, which connect with the corpus callosum, they communicate together, and all hands are on deck with an integrated brain. That's of a person, and that default mode network that usually scans others in the self, that neuroception to see, am I safe to be myself, meaning am I safe in my body and can I begin to express? So it's with the restorative embodied self that an integration of the brain happens. And the brain is an embodied brain, so your nervous system's connected. Because the default mode network is downregulated and your social engagement, the mammalian nervous system of ours, is engaged, we are in what is called a social engagement compassionate ventral vagal state. So if somebody is reacting, let's say they have an emotional trigger, I, the person who am in the integrated brain with a restorative embodied self, I'm the optimized version of a human being. That's why that infinite higher human consciousness potential experience, you get to hear about it, the Enlightenment soul age group, because it transcends all of that which is in parameters of any person who's in a place of duality. So we're in neutrality and keep moving in equanimity and beyond and beyond. This does not mean we don't have opinions. No, it means we're able to communicate and expand and to continue relationships like a regular functional adult. Integration of the brain equates a person who is friendly, open, social. In fact, we're in a green and we don't pick favorites based on groups. So our brain doesn't actually get reactive if we're in the presence of somebody who's completely opposite of us, whether it be politically, religiously, and belief systems for those who still are in those equations. And then, again, all the opinions that people tend to talk about. So this is where mysticism is completely involved, but from a 5D plane. So we don't have belief systems, meaning we go beyond any subject matter. So yes, we believe in things. We are in an independent relationship with information. So integration of the brain with the embodied, lovely nervous system of ours. Our reptilian nervous system does not engage the fight, flight, fright, our militaristic pose, our do I need to protect myself, and our then peripheral vision, which would be compromised, because that's what happens when you're in a yellow or red. Your vision is compromised, your thinking is too, because you are treating whoever's in front of you and however many people are around you or whatever's going on as if it's a physical threat, which is why people don't know about cognitive dissonance and then that confirmation bias and really a lot of other things. But I want to keep it short on the psychoeducator side because I need to share with my lovely 5D mystics about that lovely twin flame experience from a 5D Enlightenment soul age group land, because there's no comparison to any of the stories that I've heard anywhere. And really, it's not a story. This is the saddest part about what they've done to something that is actually beyond what words can describe. So when you love people, which is what pure consciousness is, a person who's compassionate beyond a reason, and we all are a part of the same energy. And so here's why this is a sanctuary for only those who love humanity, because humanity is ignorant like I can be ignorant, and then we can learn. The evil button doesn't exist. What exists is a shame button. And that's where rigid and chaos happens in the mind of those people. And they live in Maya land and they keep thinking that it's good to say things like, you can't mess with me because I have intuitive powers. And that's what we don't like to see. And so 5D mystics, I'm here to share with you all, particularly because Leo season is always this kind of, we're ready to move out of and get into the new energy. A lot of people don't move into anything new because they stay their adaptive child with this, I know everything and you can't get to me. Or, what is, you're empress, emperor. And so they go around flaunting how they're going to, do this and this and that people that try to mess with them, it makes me think of movies where I was speechless in seeing it actually happen in real life and continuing to see it. So thank goodness for the 5D educators who are sharing how down to earth. Now, it is a journey to move into your optimized brain. Let me say this, because when the therapists that I learned from actually spell out how they have to negotiate with their patients and say, look, your body. And right now what's happening, it's hell. And you're going to want to get out, right? You're here, you're doing self-work with us. It's going to be a ladder that burns. So this is where compassion comes in for 5D person, because see, I do understand the words that I learn, and I know that I'm lucky I have a restorative embodied self. My body and my brain has always been my sanctuary. And when I've seen teenagers do things like, I'm going to crap on myself, or I'm going to crap on others, I did say, what are you doing? These are people you know. Why would you treat people you know? What kind of a community are you? And this is where, as I grew up, I didn't switch around what I thought. I'm like, you're not really supporting each other here, you shaming, blaming, faulting, or revenging. This does not look cool at all. So you, the intuitive with the power, you're not doing anything except for making a show like a teenager, all grown up and whatnot. So that whole twin flame thing has nothing to do with anything I've seen online. In fact, I saw it become a trending topic, and I know exactly why it is a trending topic, and that's called teenage land for most people who don't know anything about the optimization of their brain or their body in a serious way. And mystics are not. The only difference is that the 4D mystics, they live together and do a lot of beautiful, beautiful storytelling, and we love to see their storytelling, especially when it's beautiful. When it's not, that's a different story, but everybody goes where their energy flows. So if you're vibing with a message, there's a reason you're thinking it if you're vibing with it. And that's unfortunate. So again, evil, no, it's a shame button. It's people who need a good therapist. It's actually humanity with ignorance. A lot of rigid, don't change the world that I'm living in. I mean, I saw something recently which was, I was not surprised. But again, 5D mystics, let me get to you as we close on out. While 4D, 3D, and people that remain in limited human consciousness continue to get rigid when they exchange thoughts, when they build not relationships of grown-ups, I'm going to share with those who build relationships of grown-ups. This is twin flame or not, doesn't matter, because see, what grown-ups do, it's if you and I, we like each other's company, we chit-chat. And if you and I have a problem, quote unquote, we chit-chat. We can talk. So twin flame or not, nobody actually controls your brain. The only reason 4D plane started talking about this whole addictive behavior and mind, and really that's why some people label the twin flame thing toxic. It's not. And really toxicity is a word I would not use, because I think it's unfair to all people who have a shame, defectiveness, heartbreak, gut wrench, torn apart, and basically unresolved trauma. I feel every human being who has not yet found heaven in their body, which they can, thank you to the good psychoeducators who talk about how they can and have the machines that prove it, because they can scan our bodies in integration of the brain and in a restorative embodied self. So they're not making up out of their asses. People who can explain what the optimized version of this, you can touch me, I'm here, I'm a human. Okay, which I love being also in a mystic plane, because this is the part, not anything super or supernatural, as we've said. It's actually a brain that works well. Selflessness, timelessness, effortlessness, richness. A 5D mystic will know it, which is why our twin flame or flames or soulmates or entire oversoul is not our enemy, never will be, nor are any people. This is really sad to see people talking to each other like teenagers again, and then going around talking about it as a journey of the spiritual, So, long story short, love is love, and Purusha is pure consciousness. And being aware of yourself means I'm a person, you're a person. If I say something, you might be hurt. And if you tell me, I will say I'm sorry, and then I will try to come together and align with you. If you don't want to align, you can say, I don't want to align with you. Some people don't know how to say, I don't want to align with you. So they end up doing a little bit of this and that, and that's all. For those of us who are grown-ups, we don't do this and that. And so the one or the twin flame or the twin flames does not matter. It's a human being in front of us who has free will. And then if they have unresolved trauma and they don't know how to speak, not our problem. We will speak the truth, which is loving, compassionate, kind, and respectful, independently from how those adoptive children come with their little attitudes. Because, an adult always knows how to handle a teenager and a child and a teenager child who's decided to be in a mode that is unfortunate for their body and their brain. Love is the way at all times, because it's easy for pure consciousness and pure energy to do so. It's called life. It's called infinite higher human consciousness potential experiences. My 5D mystics, there's paid subscription-based model content for twin flames if you need anything about that, or free content as well. Build your relationships. Be loving, kind, compassionate, understanding, and let the Leo season heart guide you.